everyone. This is Richard Keck, and this is all things fantasy football. Today we're going to do the rankings for the DRF Week 5 season for the Dynasty Football League. Also, want to talk a little bit of sports gambling there. I hit on a parlay, so some guys are asking about what I'm going to play for a parlay each week. So I figured I'd put that parlay up here each given week. Guy me and Edlinger know hit on a lottery ticket for $42,000 with a 13-leg parlay. I think this week I'm going to start doing that. I'm going to take a shot at a 13-leg parlay. You know, take a lottery ticket. I'm winning on the other one, so if you're doing well, you might as well take that lottery ticket and see if you can go for the bigger one. So I did that, and I have a 13-leg parlay that I put a nice bet of $13 down. It's going to cash out for $48,246. So I'll be knocking out 48 grand come this time next week if all goes well. Go through my wagers that I have going forward for this week. I've got both Michigan State covering the 3.5 point spread on Saturday, and Nebraska on the money line against Minnesota. Minnesota's lost their star player. They are at home, but Nebraska's got that defense. They played very well against Michigan and Michigan State. I think they get it done against Minnesota. I think Michigan State does enough this week. I'm not quite sure they're a top 10 team, but they've been playing well. They've been getting it done, and hopefully it's not a letdown game before Michigan. I think they get it done against Indiana, cover that 3.5 point spread. So those are the first two legs. Going into third, actually that's the third leg. I've got Thursday. I've got the Bucks on the money line. It's a -300, but Tampa Bay is playing really well. Defensively, their secondary's beat up. I was going to take Philly in the points, but I think the Tampa Bay Bucks will get it done in the win. Though I do think it'll probably be a close game. So if I can get those first three legs, then you're on your way. Got some of the 1 o'clock games. I've got Rams on the money line. Giants are all beat up, all kinds of crazy. I think the Rams take out the Giants pretty easily. One of the ones that I went out a limb on, I am huge on the Chargers right now, and the Ravens came back against the Colts. Ravens look good in the second half, but the Chargers have been lights out pretty much every week. I think the Chargers take it to the Ravens in a battle of 4-1 teams. So I took the Chargers straight on the money line to win. So they're a plus, and they definitely boosted up the. You got to take some long shots on some of them. You can't take the favorites on all, or else your odds aren't going to be all that great. So I like the Chargers taking out the Ravens. I have the Packers covering the 4.5 against the Bears. I didn't like doing it, but I mean, let's be honest here. I don't think the Bears are going to be a contender this year. I think they're going to get their quarterback in and get him some reps, get him some playing time, get him some experience. But I don't think they're going to be enough for the Packers this week. So I think that's a nice bet to take the Packers. I got the Bengals on the money line against the Lions. No matter how I tried to pick it, I feel like the Lions are going to be in the game, and I feel like they're going to give it up at the end, and the Bengals are going to win. So it seems like the only way to go is the Bengals on the money line, because the Lions will find a way to lose. No matter how competitive they make this game. Another long shot I took on this one. I have the Washington football team beating the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs just have not looked that good to me. They can score, but everybody can score against them. They've given up 28 points or more. I think they only gave up 28 once, and every other time is 30 or more. So I think the Washington football team's got a pretty good defense. They're not going to shut down the Chiefs, but I think they might just do enough like what the Bills did, what we just saw this past week, do enough to stay in the game and win the game and cover that money line. I took the over for the Arizona Cardinals Cleveland Browns game. It's sitting at 49. I think that's going to be a high scoring game. Vegas on the money line against the Denver Broncos. Vegas is getting all their guys back. The Broncos are still a little bit beat up, even though they're at home. They haven't looked good the last couple games, so I took Vegas on the money line. Dallas Cowboys covering the spread against the Patriots. Dallas is playing probably the best football we've seen in quite a many years. Some of you guys ever, because you're so young. Took the over on the Seattle-Pittsburgh game. Even with Geno Smith playing in there, the over was only 42 points. So it doesn't take a lot to get to 42. So it took the over there. And then I have Buffalo covering the spread on Monday night. So if we can get to the Sunday night game with a nice cash out, we might not even have to play the Seattle-Pittsburgh game or the Buffalo Titans game. Again, it's a lottery ticket. I bounced around a couple different ways, and there's other bets in these that I could play that maybe just didn't give as good odds. But I've got other parlays with less teams to do it. But this is definitely a lottery ticket. Pays plus 371,025. So that means my $13 bet pays $48,246.31. So when I cash that in next week, this will be a much happier recording. So on to the rankings now. That's my big parlay lottery ticket. Do with that as you will. Hopefully we'll be celebrating together on the chat. But we're going to start right in with the rankings for week 5. We'll start off there's not a lot of change, maybe some change in the middle, but definitely not a lot of change from last week. So we'll go from there, but definitely not a lot happened. The teams that won and were supposed to won, teams that lost and were supposed to lost. So just maybe a little bit of change in the middle. And start off at number 14. We got the Motorboaters, and he lost Saquon Barkley this week. So whoever has him next week definitely has a nice little freebie because he can barely field a lineup. Power rankings, he's 14th in the power rankings, 1-4 overall on the season. Has a play-all record of 8-57. Remember, we discussed the play-all record is your score playing against everyone in the league throughout the course of the season. He's on a 1-game losing streak since winning his first game last week. Not much to say other than keep getting the starting lineup in there the best you can. You might play spoiler against somebody, knock someone out of the playoffs. Even though we're still quite a ways away from the playoffs, but every win counts, especially for those big boys at the top trying to win a division. So look for Motorboaters to at least get that lineup in there and try and stay competitive best we can. 13 is straight out of Tomlin. Again, probably should have even had him, one step a little bit higher because he does have a better play-all record than the team ahead of him. He has a play-all record of 19-46, 1-4 record overall. Nate's not going to win a lot of games. He knows that. He's trying to rebuild for the future. I think the reason we have him here at 13 and not 12 is the team at 12 is in a lot better shape already for the future of a rebuild. Nate's got some work to do on this end of the spectrum. He's definitely got one of the highest. He has the highest efficiency rate in the league, meaning he's putting the best lineup he has out there each and every week. But that's not hard to do when you don't have a very good roster to put out. So he puts out the best he has, and it's resulted in a 1-4 record. So anyways, these power rankings of them in the power rankings, he's ranked number 12, 1-4 record, a 19-46 play-all record overall. That's the number 13 straight out of Tomlin team, Nate Jones. Number 12 is Wiggy and his Hung Like Hernandez team. He has a 2-3 record, which is pretty incredible, and his play-all record is 8-57. So he only had a chance to win 8, and he's got 2 of them. So that's pretty amazing that he's got a couple of those out of that kind of record. Power rankings number 13. It's on a 2-game losing streak. Brandon to Chicago. Still got a lot of the big boys left to play. It's been pretty clear, pretty adamant here. He's putting in the best roster he's got each week, but he is playing for 2023 where he has 8 first-round draft picks. He has a couple next year, which definitely should improve his record for next year. But he's, over the next couple of years, he's got like 10 first-round draft picks, which was the same spot and position I was in just a couple of years ago. Turned it into, what is now a pretty powerful team and a contender each week. So number 12 team is Wiggins and his Hung Like Hernandez team. Again, another team at the bottom, kind of doing what they're supposed to, and we can expect some losses from those three teams going forward. Number 11 is Here Goes Nothing. Silliman got his first win this week. Got off the 0, and he's actually got a power ranking of number 9, even though he's sitting at number 11, because he has a playoff record of 26-37, meaning he's scoring some points and just hasn't got the wins. Where Wiggins was able to get 2 wins out of his total 65 potential wins, and Here Goes Nothing was able to get 1 out of his 65 when he could have won 28. So luck definitely plays a factor in fantasy football. We all know that. But Silliman gets off the snide with a nice win this week, takes him to 1-4. Still don't expect a lot of wins. I expect a few more compared to Tomlin and Motorboaters and Hung Like Hernandez. He probably will end up with a few. Potentially could even still make a playoff run, considering the division leader is sitting at 2-3. So he's only a game out of the division, believe it or not. So if he starts putting some wins together and getting some points, you never know. You can slide right into the playoffs. We got a long season. We got that extra game this year, so a lot can happen. And we have another team making the playoffs, or one less team, but we have that one bye. So a lot can happen. That's the number 11 team. Here Goes Nothing. And the number 10 is the future DRF. He's sitting at 2-3, playoff record of 23-42. Has one of the lower efficiency ratings, which means he's struggling to get the correct lineup in, and that's probably resulted in a couple of his losses, or maybe at least one of those losses. He's on a 1-game win streak. Power rankings, he's at 10, so he's sitting right where he belongs. He's in the division with the champ, so he's a couple games back, but definitely not out of the playoff hunt, even especially this early in the season. He's sitting right around the league average for scoring, so I mean he's definitely has the potential to put up some points. So it's a team that is kind of teetering on the brink of whether they move up or move down. So it's definitely one to keep an eye on. Stay on the waiver wire. Be amazed what you can do when you add a couple players off the waiver wire. That's number 10, future DRF, Shane Peterman. Number 9 team is a team that keeps falling. Knocks off Chicago early on, puts up a boatload of points, puts up 145, and last week puts up 42. So I mean, you never know. He's all over the map, but the injuries are definitely killing him. No McCaffrey, no Thomas, no Kittle. It seems just like 2020 all over again. Then this week he's hit with a gazillion buys, can barely field a lineup. So his opponent this week is going to be very happy to see the lineup that's going to be facing him on the other end. Wish I'd have caught him on this week instead of the week that I caught him on. But that's where the luck factor comes in, getting the guys on the right weeks and catching them at the right time. He's got a playoff record of 36-29, but he's on a 3-game losing streak after starting off 2-0. So he's definitely dropped a little bit, sitting at the number 9 spot, number 8 in the power rankings. But he definitely has that winning record in the playoff record. So once you get some guys back, McCaffrey should be coming back soon. Thomas should be coming back soon. Kittle's going to be out for a little bit, but I mean, once you get some of your guys back, I can see this team definitely turning on the juice later in the season. That's the number 9 team. Belichick yourself. That's Chad Depew. Number 8, another team on a 3-game slide after shocking everybody with a 2-0 start, especially with a win over Chaos in the for opening week. Chaos has been pretty unstoppable since then, but knocks him off in the opening week. Has a playoff record of 30-35. Is scoring pretty good points. It's right around 501, so he's above the league average for points scored. He's power ranking number 7, so power rankings puts him in the playoffs. I've got him sitting at number 8, which is not too far off. Another team, 2-3, but the divisions, not out of hand, especially this early in the season. Playoffs are definitely not out of hand. It all depends on what you do going forward. Got a nice efficiency rating for getting his lineup in, about 76-77%. So that's pretty good. And scoring right around, like I said, scoring right around 500 points. So it's a little above the league average. So doing well in that department. So that's our number 8 team stop order. Show Me the Money comes in at number 7. He has a power ranking of 11, but he has that 3 and 2 ranking, a play all of 23 and 42. So where you've got Silliman, has a better play all ranking or a play all record because he's scoring more points. Show Me the Money has scored less points. He's down around 439, which is well below the league average. In fact, I believe it's like third from the bottom, third or fourth from the bottom. And but sometimes it's who you play when you play him, and he's got that 3 and 2 mark, and he's one of 2 teams. We have 4 teams in our league at 4 and 1, and we have 2 at 3 and 2. So he's definitely in that upper echelon of teams to get in the playoffs just based on the record alone. Whether or not it's sustainable, hopefully he can kick something in to improve on his team so he can do a little more scoring. But sometimes the luck goes a long way, and you get those early wins while your team's still trying to figure itself out. With AJ Brown not doing much for the team, he starts kicking it in. This whole ship can turn around and right itself on its own. So that's Show Me the Money at number 7. At number 6, we have the River Rats, and the River Rats are losers of 2 in a row. They have Chicago coming up this week, so potential tough outing, but the River Rats definitely can put up some points as well. So sitting at 2 and 3 as a record, but the first place in their division is 2 and 3, so he's sitting right there where he needs to be. 548 points, so again above league average, and play all record of 37, 27, and 1. So definitely can beat some teams. Definitely one that you got to take into consideration as a contender when you play him each week. If you look at his roster, it's pretty darn good, and he's got nothing out of Stephon Diggs. So, I mean, if he starts to get something out of some of these guys that have big names and have so far done zero, and I know Stephon Diggs specifically because I've got him in like 7 or 8 leagues, and I get nothing out of him, and my record is reflective of that and looks similar to what Paxi has here at 2 and 3. You don't draft those guys in the first round to have them not score touchdowns. And when they don't score touchdowns, you don't get wins. And that's just kind of the way it's at. But sitting in a nice division where so far it hasn't hurt him. He definitely would like to get them wins, but if you can get some productivity out of some of those guys, the wins will come with it. So being able to sit at 2 and 3, a tie to top the division, and not be too far off is a nice bonus and a nice little piece of luck for them. So that's number 6, River Rats. Power ranking number 5, if I didn't mention that, but sitting at number 6 in our rankings. Number 5 is Show Me Some TDs, and that is Bergie. Show me your TDs. He's sitting at 3 and 2, 516 points. So I mean, we want to say Bergie got a little bit lucky, but he's sitting above league average in scoring. He's got 3 and 2 record. He's got play all record of 34 and 31, but he does have a 1-game losing streak after losing this week. Could have easily joined the upper echelon of 4 and 1 teams, but he's still sitting right there, sitting a game out behind the champ in the division down there, and definitely has potential to make a statement in this year's playoffs. His low mark for scoring this year is 90. Which is pretty decent. There's several teams, probably 9 teams or more that have scored lower than 90. So if your floor is 90 or above, you're probably doing pretty well this year, and he's definitely doing that so far. Power ranking of number 6, and I got him at 5. So I have River Rats and Show Me TDs, flip flop based solely basically on the record of Show Me getting that extra win over the River Rats. So they're definitely close to each other in ranking. So that's our number 5 team. Show me your TDs. Top 4, all 4 and 1. All teams are rolling, and we're talking, when I mean rolling, they're all at like 600 points plus scoring. Starting with Motor City at number 4, 615 points. Well above the league average. Also leads the league in bench points, surprisingly enough. Considering how deep my bench is. Laurent's team is definitely putting up some points on the bench. Pardon me. He has 727 bench points, which is nearly like 80 points more than the next person. So LeBron's definitely got a team that's a contender. His efficiency among the top four is tied for the lowest. But when you have a deep team, that's going to happen. You're going to get the wrong guys in the lineup. And LeBron, it's a good problem to have, but it's sometimes still a problem when you're like, I could have had this guy. Sitting at 4-1, his playoff record is 43-21-1. Looks like he would have tied the River Rats on one particular week, whatever that week that was. And his efficiency rating is 74.8. Definitely a contender. And of the top four, 3 of these teams are in the same division. So it's definitely going to be a very, very tough division. And considering the fact that they're all beating up on each other, it's probably the champ that walks out with the number 1 seed in the bye. But we'll see about that. He's still got to play. Still got to play a couple of us. So 4-1, Motor City coming in at number 4. Again, no change at the top 4. This is the same as it was last week. Everybody won. Everybody took care of business. Everybody put up a good number of points. So, in fact, LeBron of the 4 put up the most points. So, but everybody scored some points and took care of business. Won by 70, 80 points each. It was a pretty lopsided day in fantasy football, and everybody took care of business. Sitting at number 3, Champ sitting at number 3. Power ranking is number 3, so he's got a 4-1 record. Also, play all record of 53-12. He is on a 2-game win streak. So definitely he currently sits as the highest scoring team in the league at 709. Got an efficiency rating at 82.5, which is second in the league, which is understandable for him considering he has no depth at all. When you have no depth and you basically have one lineup to put in, you're probably going to put in the best lineup each week. So, again, just like Tomlin has nobody to play and he leads the league in efficiency, same thing here. When you have nobody to play, just the people he has to play are better than Tomlin's by quite a bit, obviously. So Champ sitting at number 3 at 4-1, leads his division by a game in a nice spot. The number 2 team, still Chicago Fire, number 1 in the power rankings, number 2 in scoring overall, number 3 in 3 or 4 in efficiency. It looks like 4 in efficiency, which actually surprised me when I've got guys on my bench that I struggle with who I'm starting each week. To have a efficiency of 81.6 is actually pretty good. Leads has the best play all record, tied with Chaos at 56-9. So there's a reason there's no change at the top. It's not just the points; it's the all the other factors combined as well. And if you didn't lose, you ain't gonna move. So, for the first time, it looks like Chaos is going to be a number 1 for 2 weeks in a row. It seems like everybody who held on that number 1 spot held it for 1 week and then decided they didn't want it anymore. So number 2, 4-1, Chicago Fire. They're going to sit at a 3-way tie with Chaos and Motor City in the division, all at 4-1. So we got a battle brewing, and they all still play each other. So it's going to be a good matchup down the stretch. Number 1 team again for the second week in a row. Again, like I said, everybody seems to want to give it up and pass it on once they get it. Chaos says he wanted to take it and roll with it. Looked like he was going to be the highest scorer for a while until LeBron got a boatload of points out of a couple guys on Monday Night Football in the second half and a major comeback. So Chaos ended up with number 2 scoring for the week. His number 3 scoring overall at 694 points. It's about league average in efficiency because, again, he's also got a pretty good roster. Got some guys on his bench that he struggles to figure out which one to put in sometimes, and it's a good problem to have. Has a nice floor for 111 is his lowest score of the year. He has the second highest floor in the league behind Chicago, who has a floor of 123. Has a play all record of 56-9, also tied with Chicago in that regard. So overall, in very good shape. He's on a 4-game win streak. It's definitely emerged as a contender. These guys got to play each other here soon coming up, and we'll see what happens. A lot of space is going to, or a lot of place holding is going to be determined by those games going forward. Remember, our last game of the season, once we've played everybody, is pretty much going to be like a seeding One will play 16, two will play 15, etc. And what that does is it'll make the guys in the middle that are playing for a playoff spot have to play each other, and it's almost like an extra playoff round. So that'll be very interesting in week 15. Yes, no, week 14. Week 14 when that happens. So that's it for today. The number one team is Chaos, holding strong at number one for the second week in a row. Congratulations to him. And that is all I got. If you guys want to hear more about any kind of parlays in future shows or any other of the sports betting that I've got going on, let me know, and I'll try to include a little bit more of that content in here. Otherwise, for now, that's all I've got for you guys. I'll see you next week. Congratulations to Cass and the number one for the second week in a row. Have a good day, everybody. Like, subscribe, and comment on the videos. Let me know what you think of them. Have a good day.